Welcome back to the glorious sunny days of Ontario, Canada. It is a beautiful day in southern Ontario.
It's another day in escarpment country.
where you can drive behind big pickup trucks on the 401 that give you tons of trouble.
I literally just got off of the 401, so do not start with me about trucks on the 401.
Was your drive smooth?
It was smooth. I every single time I get to your house, you're like, "How was your drive?" And I feel like you ask me that as like a nicety, but I always actually answer because there's always some I'm trying not to swear within the first minute of this podcast. There's always some baloney that goes on, like on the 401. Like sometimes it's more major than others, but there's always something. Someone tries me every single time, and I'm so sick of it.
The 401 is one of the busiest highways in the world. Yeah. Like, it's crazy. I didn't know that. Actually, for the longest time, because I'm so used to the 401.
No, it's like highly ranked as one of the busiest highways in the world, like the whole world. It is up there with the Autobahn, and I drive it once a week minimum. That's crazy. Usually
so
more.
So crazy. By the way, we are past the minute mark, so...
Fuck shit, bitch, shit, piss.
Welcome to the Chill Spot Podcast,
Sorry,
everybody.
Auntie Sandra.
Well, you know, Sam.
But yeah, no, the 401 is just a trip every time. It's a literal trip every time.
Oh yeah, I mean, you have to drive it. I have to drive it. You have to drive it. Everyone drives it. Yeah. You live in Ontario. At some point, you're driving the 401. That's how it goes.
It's impossible to get anywhere.
There are many constants in life. You will eat a pizza from Pizza at some point, and you will drive on the 401. That's the Ontarian experience.
And we say we're the best province. Or we act like we're the best province. No, we act like we're the best province. We don't say it, we act like it.
I'm an Ontarian, I can firmly say that Ontario is not the best province.
Although I will say, when I did tent, there was a participant who was from Alberta, and that province fucking sucks.
Well, Alberta has a unique set of issues.
At first I thought maybe I was just like in my Ontario head, but apparently like I joked, I was like, "Oh, like you talk about Alberta all the time and like how shitty it is there." They were a theater artist, so I was like I always assumed that Alberta was like the shittiest place to make theater, and they were like, "Yeah, no, it is." And I was like I always joke that Alberta is like Canada's Texas, and they were like, "That's super accurate."
Wow.
Like,
wow.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. So I'm not wrong about Alberta once again.
Who knew?
Yeah.
I've never even stepped foot in Alberta, even once.
Neither have I. No. My mom has friends who live out there, and she goes every once in a while. Obviously not right now.
I've heard it's rather scenic. Like, I've heard it's like nice to hike around.
Banff. Yeah. I would like to go to Banff.
Mm-hmm.
I think Banff is like, if Alberta is Canada's Texas, Banff is Austin, Texas.
So like the blue part of Texas?
Yeah, exactly.
The part where it's like
weird there.
Hey, we're the cool Texas. You can come be black and gay here.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, pretty much. That's my uninformed opinion of Banff so far.
I've also heard that Banff is, as far as vacationing goes, is one of the more reasonable places to go on vacation.
Although that may be changing soon because young people are starting to really like discover it, and I can see businesses taking advantage of that.
100%.
Especially anything with any kind of view of the mountains.
Before you know it, it's Blue Mountain, where everything is overpriced and it honestly kind of mediocre.
Yeah. Like I remember being a kid and like Blue Mountain was like a cool like vacation spot. Like all the sort of like bougie rich kids with divorced parents would like go to Blue Mountain on March break.
It's a stipulation. Your parents have to be divorced.
Yeah, because like one of them is trying to like take you on a nice vacation, but like can't afford to go very far because they have a kid with them.
Like mom takes you to Disneyland, but dad takes you to Blue Mountain.
Exactly. It competes, but it's not like great,
not really.
But it's pretty good. I certainly never went. Mm-hmm. And then
but Mom,
it was near your family's cottage that you guys always rent in Wasaga. Yep. So we went one time just sort of like mill around. It was like late summer, so there wasn't really much to see because it wasn't in season really. But the shops were there, and I was
nice.
I was like, I'm picturing this with snow, and I don't care.
Well, because you and I don't ski or snowboard. Yeah. So it's really not an attraction to us.
Yeah.
The villa is nice. Like, it is, like, aesthetically nice to look around.
Yeah.
But, like, do I really want to go spend $25 on a fucking beaver tail?
Well, and, like, God, I know. Well, beaver tails are just expensive. Beaver tails are, like, a quintessential Canadian. It's like a tourist trap food, you know? Like, you go to fucking... You go to Japan and you eat like the soup that comes with a live squid that you have to like bite its head off.
You go get some takoyaki or something. Yeah.
In Canada, you get a beaver tail. So because it's like beaver tail, Canada, like they're so expensive.
And I found
it's a donut.
Well, it's like a frittelle.
It's a flat donut.
It's fried dough. Yeah,
it's delicious.
It is.
Like would I like one right now? Of course.
I would eat 4 right now.
But like, am I gonna be like, oh my god, like you have to go to Canada and get a beaver tail? No, because it's a donut.
Yeah, no, I agree. I totally. Have you noticed though that beaver tails you can actually only find in resort type places like Blue Mountain?
Because they're tourist traps.
Legit, I've never seen. I've even in Toronto, I've never seen a beaver tail place.
No,
it's always up north.
I see them. I saw a couple at like certain like markets and attractions in like Ottawa when I went there for my grade 8 grad trip, and then I see them in like beach towns like Grand Bend, Wasaga, Sauble. Maybe not so much Sauble, but Grand Bend and Wasaga for sure. You can find a beaver tail somewhere. And then like a water park, like some water parks have beaver tails at them.
Oh god, I feel like the water park is the last place I want to eat a beaver tail.
No, you don't want to like get off a water slide and like go get a beaver tail and then go into the wave pool after.
I don't want to be like wet eting a beaver tail.
Like a popsicle, you know.
Water parks are miserable though. You ever been to a water park?
Of course. I like water parks. I like water parks, but then you get there and it's like, oh, it's like amusement park but wet.
Oh, it's like super public pool.
Yeah, like everything. Mega ultra public pool. I don't know, like I've been to a couple of water parks. I've been to the water park of Canada's Wonderland, and that's super fun. Ooh. Emily and I went to Wet and Wild when we went to Florida for our like high school grad trip. It wasn't like organized by the school or anything. We just wanted to go to Universal and go to Harry Potter World. And then my aunt, who is just thebomb.com, we had gone to Universal like 3 days in a row, and we were like getting kind of tired of it. We were there for a week that covered a weekend, and we were like, I don't want to go. We have like a day left after the weekend. Like, I don't want to go to Universal on a weekend. It is gonna be hell. There's a 90-minute wait for the Hulk ride on like a Wednesday afternoon. Yeah. Like, I don't want to go on a weekend.
90-minute is generous.
Yeah. So we were like, oh, whatever. And she was like, well, why don't I get you some like water passes to Wet and Wild? Switch it up. And we were like, fuck yeah, Chrissy!
I can get Wet and Wild. What the hell?
Thank you so much. Oh my god!
I get Wet and Wild right now.
So we went, and they had this sick water slide that was like, first of all, if you have photosensitivity, like just don't think about this water slide at all.
Go into fucking shock at the end of it.
I think it was called like Mind Twist or like Mind Fuck or something. Like,
you guys want to ride the Mind Fuck?
Yeah. Do you want to ride the Mind Fuck?
I got fast passes for the Mind Fuck.
But it was basically like a water slide. There was like a short slide, and then it like shoots you into this enormous bowl where they've installed lights on, like strobe lights, colored lights, like flashing lights, like all this like light show. And it literally is like a sensory overload of a light show. And you like ride around in a bowl, and you're like going up the sides and all around. And you're not sure if you're going to go down the hole upside down or what.
Are you whirlpooling? Like, it's like a whirlpool?
No, it's not a whirlpool. It's more like, I don't know, like
a spout?
They lube it up with enough water to like get you out in time that you're not just like sliding around forever. They kind of like guide you in, but you go in, you go up the side of the bowl, you're like, whoa, and then you come back down and you're like, whoa, and then you go down the hole and you're like, whoa, and then you're done.
Yeah, what a great time.
And then there's like lights everywhere. And that was so fun.
No, that wasn't, but I do think water parks are one of those things that are like dead though. Like I can't see water parks bouncing back after COVID.
Yeah, I mean, like they're gonna try it, of course, because like if you own a business,
because everyone loves Marineland. According to the commercials. I saw Blackfish. Everyone does not love Marineland.
I don't love Marineland because Blackfish, and also like Marineland fucking sucks. Like, have you been to Marineland?
I've been to Marineland. Yeah,
it's depressing.
It is depressing.
Like, there's a roller coaster, and then there's that Sky Screamer Nightmare, which like
the one that that girl got her legs cut off.
Girl got her legs cut off on Sky Screamer. Girl got her legs cut off on Drop Zone at Wonderland. Girl got her legs cut off on like the fucking like Zipper or whatever at the local fair. Like. Those drop towers, there's always a story where somebody got their legs ripped off. Like, it's just like a, it's just
weird
like a
that it's still
tall
in business, right?
I know.
There's this many specific instances.
It's like you can't really find like a story associated with it, like with that specific ride.
Well, there's no like documentation, right?
Yeah. No, but yeah, so there's the Sky Screamer, which like my mom has to purposely not bring up because I will rant about the fucking time that she like made me go on it as a kid because we went with some friends from Calgary, ironically enough. And she was like, we're all doing it. And I went, and it was the worst because all it does is take you way, 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 way up.
And then drop you.
And then drop you way, 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 way down.
It's boring.
And you leave your stomach at the top of the tower, and it's miserable from start to finish.
Did you had like you would have what you describe as like a genuinely bad time?
Oh, yeah. No, I don't like... that is the one ride I will not go on. I'm really, really good about going on every single ride. Like, I'm not scared of rides, but the ones that shoot you straight up and down and are like 1,000,000 feet tall, like, fuck that.
No, it just sounds like you're asking for an accident to happen.
I don't like heights.
Me neither.
Yeah. I can tolerate heights on roller coasters because it's like you're up and then you're down and then you're up and then you're right back down. But like something that's like up high and the whole point is to like be up high and then just like drop you from down high. It just like makes me think about, it's like, oh, so this is what it feels like to like fall out of an airplane or like fall like off a cliff or
you're invoking the fear of falling.
Exactly. And I'm like, not about that.
I don't get rides like that. I don't get spinny rides. I don't get where the spinning sensation becomes fun.
It's not my favorite, but I can do it if it's incorporated well.
I don't like amusement parks really. I mean, you know this, but like I'm really like I'm not a ride person.
No,
I'd rather play the carnival games.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm
and
better
those
at
games
them.
are rigged.
Well,
so
of course.
like why would you pay $60, $70 to go to Wonderland and then like you have to pay for the games. So you have to pay like $15 for the games and you do that all day.
They get a
like,
big poorly stuffed plushie of Sonic the Hedgehog
that you never ever use. It's gonna sit in the like in the storage room at your house with the Christmas decorations for the rest of time. And then like, oh yeah, that was a day.
You bring it home and hug it too hard and all the beads like pop out. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
What amusement parks are, in my opinion, like okay, so I think that
I love amusement parks, but they're such a racket.
Well, they're a racket. They're a total fucking ripoff. Like they're way too much money for what you get.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, like I think a lot of amusement parks, I think when you buy a ticket, if you read like their like terms of service, I'm sure there's a little bit like, so if you die at our park, like it's not our fault. It's
not our fault.
You know, like you're a total liability when you're
100%.
there. The best amusement park we've been to though, and like obviously this goes without saying, is Disneyland.
Okay.
Because like Disneyland, in my opinion, was like the epitome of what an amusement park is supposed to be. Okay. Like you go to Wonderland and they call it an amusement park. It's more like a ride park. Like I want to be amused. I want to go and have fun every second I'm here. Like that's what Disneyland is.
Gotcha.
It's like shops and restaurants and games and people in costumes and like sights to see. They like built Cinderella's castle or whatever.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. Like that to me is an amusement park. There's like I think when Wonderland was Paramount's Wonderland, it was closer to that of an amusement park.
Man, R.I.P. Paramount Canada's Wonderland.
I know, right?
I miss when it was Paramount Canada's Wonderland.
Yeah.
I miss it so much.
I mean, because
every time I walk past a Top Gun ride and it's called Flight Deck now, I'm like, you lame. And like I'm old enough now that there are like generations of kids who don't know that it was once Top Gun or like Time Warp was once Tomb
whatever
Raider.
It was. Yeah, exactly.
And it's like breaking my heart.
I know Maverick would be very upset. But
absolutely.
Well, what I like about Disney too is that they have a lot of rides. I mean, like I would love to go with you to Disney. Like it's
I've never been. Yeah.
I really want us to go. Like us and our friend group to like go. Like all of us. It'd be really nice. Bring like 16 people. Which isn't a total pipe dream, but it would be fun to go. But I really want, what do you like about amusement Disney is because like they have a lot of rides that aren't just like thrill-seeking rides. They have a lot of like themed rides where it's like you go to Disneyland
like
and
it's a small world,
or it's a small world, or like another good example is like we went on this like dinosaur one where the whole like story of the ride is like you're helping this like scientist go back in time to get a dinosaur and like bring it to the present with you.
That's cool.
And all this crazy shit happens. Yeah. That's what I really liked about Disney is because a lot of their rides have stories. You know, and then as a kid, dumbass little kid, when you get invested in the story of the ride and it exits at the gift shop and you get all of the cool toys that associated with the ride, which are a total fucking ripoff.
Oh, it's a total ripoff, but it's genius marketing.
Brilliant.
You build this enormous ride with this great story and you get people wrapped up in it so that as soon as they exit, they're hit with stuff and then they're just like, that was amazing. I want to remember it forever. Give me that toy. Give me that toy. I don't give a fuck. I'll pay $25 for a Gildan t-shirt. I don't give a fuck.
I bought a Mickey with a dinosaur t-shirt. Why not?
Yeah.
Fuck it.
I want to remember the time I had serotonin like pulsating into my brain 1,000,000 miles a minute. Forever. I already
yearn for the past of this ride.
I want to buy this fucking Pirates of the Caribbean tie so when I wear it to my shit office job, I can remember that I was once happy and just like wear it, have it.
Yeah, but that's what it is,
Yeah,
man. They sell you on experiences. That's Disney's whole bag.
Yeah. But you know what? I think as long as you... Okay, so this is the pessimist in me. I'm like, as long as you know that, then you can enjoy it. But also, like, there are people who get completely wrapped up in it. You know, I love making fun of
Disney heads?
Disney adults. Yeah.
Disney adults. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it.
I love making fun of certain adults at Disney.
I know many Disney adults.
I know a couple of people who are really into Disney. Like, we have a friend who cosplays and, like, she does, like, Disney bounds and stuff like that.
But that's
and
cool.
She's into Disney, you know? Like, she loves, you know, like, she'll watch the movie on repeat while she's making the costume of the character from the movie that she's watching.
But she's not a fucking weirdo about it.
Like, cosplays take, like, forever. So, like, she'll watch the movie repeatedly over the course of, like, 3 months.
Sure.
And, like, it's... Like, yeah, it's not a lifestyle that I would choose, but, like, you can also talk to her about other things.
Well, that's what I was about to say. She's also rather harmless and has many interests.
Yeah.
So, you know.
Yeah.
She also listens to this podcast, so shout out to who exactly, you know who we're talking about.
We know we're talking about you. We love you.
Yeah, of course we do.
We love you so much. You keep doing, you are the example of what a Disney adult should be, and what I all want them to be. And then when someone's like, I'm so into Disney, I picture this person.
Totally.
And I'm like, oh, so they're like this person, and then they're not. And I'm like,
well, see, to me, like, no offense when I say this, I'm gonna pull a you here, Sam.
Okay.
When I think about Disney people, and I think about people who like blindly love Disney, I automatically, and I'm not like the person we're talking about. Like I'm talking about negative examples now.
Yeah.
People who are like so into Disney to the point where they like refuse to acknowledge the faults of a company like Disney.
Yeah.
To me, screams that you're a totally ignorant person.
Or the people who are like so, like the Disney adults who are so protective about Disney that they're like pissed that Halle Bailey is playing Little Mermaid, and they're like, this is gonna ruin Little Mermaid. Like, as a girl who dyed her hair red back in like 2000 and fucking whatever, the Ariel should look like this. And it's like, you are so attached to this fake, this mythological character.
Yeah.
That you can't possibly let it be anything different than what it is.
That wasn't necessarily. I was talking more about like the people who like blindly consume Disney, and then when someone is like, okay, so you know, like you don't necessarily need to support this like multi-billion-dollar company, like with the way that you're doing.
Yeah.
Like you can like their stuff and enjoy it, but you like have a financial investment in this company, essentially.
Yeah.
And they're like, but I love it. It's my life.
My
like,
personality.
Well, like, to me, like, that screams like, you don't got too much going on up there, eh? Like, this is your whole bag? Like, this is the whole bag.
You go home, you imagine yourself as Ariel for the millionth time in your life, and that's just go to sleep, wake up, rinse, repeat.
But the Venn diagram of Disney bootlickers and people who are upset about Halle Berry playing Ariel is a circle.
Yeah.
They're the same person.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so on that note, I don't get why people are upset. Like, okay, I literally understand why people are upset because she's black, a young black woman. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
What I don't get is, have you heard that young lady sing?
Yeah.
like she's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, holy fucking shit.
Yeah.
She's gonna make a great Ariel. She's the exact
great
tone of voice she needs for it.
It's so fun. And like the rest of the casting seems to be working out too. They got the kid from Room as Flounder and Aquafina
that would be fun.
Scuttle, and
he's Canadian, eh? Room kid.
Yeah.
Room kid, yeah.
Yeah, eh?
Eh?
Yeah. Yeah,
Hey, old boy. It's a good old Canadian boy.
Good old Canadian boy.
I wonder where he's from.
I don't know. I think his name's like Jacob something.
Jacob Sagittarius.
I love how you refuse. There are certain names that like need like they take time to say out loud, and you just refuse to do that. So you'll just like say their names wrong forever.
How do you pronounce Jacob?
Sartorius.
I thought it was Sagittarius.
No, you're adding a G where there was never a G.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've heard so many people call him that.
Maybe he's a Sagittarius. I don't know, but it's Sartorius.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I sincerely don't care.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. He cheated on Millie Bobby Brown, so like he can get fucked. But he's a kid. But
whatever. Yeah.
You
and
know.
way more famous than us. So
yeah.
Come on the podcast, Jacob. I'll pronounce your name correctly.
But yeah, no, I would love to go to Disney. And unfortunately, it's so weird that that's one of the things I was thinking about when COVID first hit was like,
I'm never gonna go to Disney.
It was one of those things where I was like, oh, like you think it's always going to be there. So like the fact that I'm 26 and I've never been to Disney World before, you're like, oh, well, it'll always be there. I can go at some point, maybe when I have kids. And now it's like, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, well, I don't know if I'll ever get to Disney.
No, come on. You're not going to never go to Disney.
I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, like, yeah, I mean, you're not going to go to Disney tomorrow.
I'm probably not going to go to Disney in the next like 5 years, to be honest, because like, you know, it's going to take a while for the world to sort of like reset Florida. And reconfigure. Yeah. Especially Florida. Yeah. Like, it's going to take a while for that whole state to kind of reconfigure itself.
So let's go to Disney when we're 35 then. Who cares?
I guess, yeah. I guess I am young. I guess I could go in the next like 10 years and be 36. And
you don't need to be like, I know it's not what you're saying, but I have such a pet peeve of those who believe that life ends at 30.
No, I'm not. Yeah, that's not what I'm getting at all. It's just like, what I'm getting at is when COVID hit and you're like taking into consideration all of the things that you took for granted about simply going outside.
Oh yeah,
and traveling and stuff like that. You know, Disney World was definitely one of those things that was on my bucket list. I really want to go. I don't know what it is about this fucking park in Florida.
It is the most magical place on earth.
Every fucking body says you have to go to at some point in your life, but I'm so curious. And like, I've seen pictures of the park, you know, it's like grown and changed as I've gotten older, and there's that wild like Avatar land that I can't believe exists.
Oh yeah, they built Pandora. I forgot about that.
I can't, that's like an architectural marvel to me. Like I have to see that to believe that it is real. So but I don't know. I always like took it for granted because it's expensive.
It is,
and
it's a trip that you have to spend the money on.
Yeah, exactly. You have to spend the money.
Buy the fast passes.
Yes, please,
like,
God. Oh
bring
my God.
money for merch. Like I'm telling you, like bring money.
No,
like,
definitely.
It's like
definitely. And where was I going? Something about right. I'm very picky about who I go to amusement parks with. So it's like you want to go with the right people. You want to make sure that, and it's hard, right? Because it's got to be people. If you're going to go to an amusement park that you can travel with, because you're going to Florida, it's far from where we are. So you have to have a good travel companion, people you can stand for like a week minimum.
Totally. And
then it's an amusement park. So I want to go with people who want to go on roller coasters, who want to spend the money, you know, who are going to get as excited about going as I'm going to get about going.
Or at least a group of people where it's like, okay, maybe you and then like, I don't know, the Brads want to go on like the roller coasters and like seek thrills and shit. But then like me and like, I don't know, like Emily and Alen want to go and do more like the themed rides.
Yeah,
you know, like
with characters.
Totally.
And
like, you know,
that.
have a group that reflects your.
I want to make sure everybody, you know, like typical me, like I want to make sure everybody can have a good time. So like, you know, you're not going to want to go on rides. So like I might not spend the majority of my time at the amusement park with you. But if I know that you're somewhere having a good time, then my soul is at peace.
Totally.
If I think that I'm going to go with like, if we're going to go with like 7 people and like 5 of us are going to go do the rides and then like you and one other person are just like stuck walking around the park, like trying to figure out something to do. Yeah. Holding the bags and like walking around, like trying to supplement your time with something else. I'm not okay with that. Amusement parks are too expensive. Yeah. And to go to Disneyland, to go to Florida, all the way to fucking Florida, which is like, you know,
other side, you know, long way.
Long ways down. It's just not worth it. I wouldn't be okay. I wouldn't feel comfortable making you go through that.
Of course.
Or anybody else for that matter.
It's an expensive ordeal. It's like
even Canada's Wonderland. It's like, we're going to make a day of it. And if you're not going to do exactly what we're going to do all day long, it's going to suck for you. And I don't want you to come.
Which is why
your time and money.
I always say when the conversations about Wonderland come up that you should all go plan a day in Wonderland. I'm just not going to go.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to go. Yeah. So go without me. Yeah. Like, I am not offended.
I'm really not, like, vying for you to go to Wonderland.
Of course not.
Like, no offense. Like, I of course I want to take you everywhere. But, like, yeah, no, you're going to have a bad time.
Why would I bring you someplace? I'm not going to bring you. Okay, like, I'm getting into Magic the Gathering. Think I'm going to drag you to some Magic night? Yeah. And make you sit in the corner while I play Magic? No. Yeah. I'll bring someone else who wants to play Magic.
Bring
and, like, Conrad.
Take part in it. It's more, I'm really not comfortable with like bringing someone along just because I think that I should.
Yes.
Like, oh, this is your partner. Oh, this is your family member. Oh, this is your whatever. You should like take them with you everywhere. It's like, no. If I don't think you're going to enjoy the thing, don't fucking go. I'll tell you about it later, you know?
Oh, yeah. Like, yeah, exactly. It's exactly right. But in that same vein of Actually, is there anything else you wanted to say about like amusement parks? Any like stray thoughts?
No, not really.
Okay.
We can go off, I guess. Just like I'm very picky about who I go to amusement parks with. I always want to go in even numbers so no one has to sit alone next to a stranger, or like we don't have to take turns. I hate that conversation. Fuck that.
No, fuck
that. Even numbers, please.
Go be comfortable. Actually, one more thing about amusement parks. No, we have to do. My two big. I say as a non-amusement park person, my two big amusement park goals in life are to A, go to Disneyland again as an adult because I wonder what that's like.
Yeah.
And B, once it's done, go to Nintendo Land.
There is a Nintendo Land?
They're building a theme park, yeah.
I was going to say, I thought they were building it.
Yeah, it's not done. But once I said once it's done, go to Nintendo Land.
That's going to be in Japan, right?
I think so. Nintendo Land Japan. I've been seeing screens. So cool. I've been seeing like people have been like, because like it's like super hush hush, right? Yeah. But people have been like sneaking pictures and stuff. They built like Bowser's Castle and like Peach's Castle, and there's like a Mushroom Kingdom and stuff. Wow. I really want to go.
That looks so... You know what? I would love to see that.
Oh, I mean, we have to go to Japan at some point in my life. Yeah. Like I've always wanted to go to Japan. Mm-hmm. It seems like such a crazy good place. Mm-hmm. But in the vein of you're talking about like dreams crushed by COVID, I told you about this before. I don't know about on the podcast, but one of my dream trips ever is to do a solo trip from the top of the boot of Italy to the bottom of the boot of Italy, hitting up the countryside and cities and doing cooking lessons in every city. Mm-hmm. And Italy, famously, was devastated by COVID. Yeah. So I'm probably not going to do that ever, maybe. Yeah. But you know,
maybe. We'll see. Again, like wait until you're in your mid-30s, you know, maybe we can go.
Yeah, exactly, right? Yeah. You go to Disneyland and I'll go to Italy.
Actually, I would like to eat whatever you make on the Italy trip. So
well, my whole I mean, I don't know if I ever told you this part, but my whole plan, my whole like dream of dreams would be like do most of the trip by myself, but then like have friends or you who like are interested and want to spend money to like meet me in cities so I can like cook you guys a meal. We can like bum around. Like I would like maybe meet you at the bottom in a coast city so we can like, you know, eat on the Isle Capri and fucking get like genuine caprese salads.
I will not marry you until you have mastered the art of making focaccia.
Okay.
I won't do it.
I could probably do that. I could figure that out.
I'm being pretty facetious, but like, of course. When we watched Salt, Fat, Acid, Heat, and there was that like whole thing where she was like making focaccia with like a master, and they were just like bathing that dough in olive oil, and it was like glistening with olive oil. There was my little heart just stopped beating.
There is quite literally no limit to how much oil you could put in focaccia.
I know, it's like never enough.
Well, because I mean, like we never really mentioned this yet, but we're really into the Great Canadian Baking Show.
I think we've mentioned that before, but yeah, we are super into it.
And one of the contestants for Bread Week in season 3 made focaccia, and like they did it well, but one of the things was like there's not enough oil in it.
Yeah,
because I think
like, they put a generous amount of oil on it, but like you need like an asinine amount of olive oil.
What you consider to be generous needs to be doubled. Like, honestly. Like really put that much oil in it. Can we also just say, on the topic of the Great Canadian Baking Show, you mentioned this last night because we were watching it last night. What is with season 3? I love the host changes. I love Aurora and Carolyn. They're so funny. I like the new judge, although I do miss Rochelle a little bit.
I miss Rochelle.
And of course, my boy Bruno, you see the dough. The dough is quite literally not cooked. This is raw oil.
The dough is raw.
Yeah.
He like gargles.
The dough is raw. What is with the mediocrity in season 3?
Yeah.
There's no one who's like really great.
No, like I think that season 1 was the best season out of the 3 seasons that are on Netflix right now.
Season
like
2,
hands down. I was trying to like make it all the way to season 3, but like season 1 was glorious because there were definitive people that you didn't want to win. And then there was James, who should not have made it as far as he made it. And like
he was a plant.
It sucks.
He had to have been a plant.
It sucks that he made it into like the top 4, but the whole, like, it was nice to have someone the whole time you were there going, man, fuck up. I want you to fuck up. Please fuck up. I hate you so much. And it just like, it fueled my fire for the other contestants who I was rooting for to do well. Cause I was like, come on, Sabrina. Come on, Linda. I want fucking, come on, ladies.
Yeah.
Hey, I hate, shine so bright that they have to kick this guy off finally. Because he sucks. You know, like there were clear stars and there were clear not so stars.
Totally.
And it was like a thrill to watch from start to finish. Like season 2 was cool, but there were like 2 or 3 people that I was like okay with winning. And then like I didn't like Andre, but I could understand why he won. And it was kind of like womp womp. Like,
well, yeah.
Yeah, no, I know. He's been like the judge's darling this whole time. So like here we fucking go.
He was literally a good baker.
I get. Yeah.
I guess, like, mechanically speaking, you see the shit he made in season 2?
Yeah. I know. I just, whatever, man. Someone who sings opera as a hobby just, like, doesn't seem like a cool person to me.
Right.
And like, I love opera, but like, oh, you just like do it. You just like normal people who sing as a hobby just like sing songs. They sing whatever they grew up with. You mean to tell me that like my jam is like If You Love Me by Brownstone, and yours is like, you know, I don't know, some like Tom Petty song that you grew up with, and Homeboy's over here is like an aria from like his favorite opera of all time. Like, get the fuck out of here. But that's just me and my pettiness.
So petty. You're so fucking petty. Translation. He's an old white man, so Sam doesn't like him very much.
No, I like certain old white men, but just not that one so much. Although I respect the talent, I still think that Sachin should have won because he was consistent the entire season. Well, Sachin, in season 2.
The thing that Sachin lacked, we are now, yes, talking about the nitty-gritty of the Great Canadian Baking Show.
Get into it.
Pause this podcast.
Because it's so good.
Watch all of the show,
just
and
like,
then come back.
Oh my God.
Oh, wait. We'll wait.
Okay, welcome back.
All right.
We need more people. I need more people to talk about this with, other than just you. Of course, I could talk to you forever, but like, I don't know. I want like a room full of people who are so passionate and like talking about. I love talking about things like sports, but not sports.
Yeah, totally.
You know,
talk about the competition of it.
Like my friends and I, we watch Jeopardy like it's sports.
Like it's sports, 100%.
Like I think you were there the one night. We all hung out and had dinner and we're watching Jeopardy, and there was this one contestant who the entire room was rooting for, and they made a stupid mistake on the question.
And it cost them the game.
All of us went, oh! Yeah. At the same time.
Jessica!
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Oh, no! Like a sports game. It was hilarious.
Totally.
I love that stuff.
I love doing shit like that.
I love having sports energy for non-sports things, because it just goes to show that like it's universal.
Well, because you know what I was about to say, like, and I was thinking, it's so funny you bring this up, because I was thinking about this today, like earlier today. The only reason I think a lot of people who are into arts are also not into sports, or not even that example, like people aren't into sports, but like make it a part of their personality, the fact they're not into sports, in my opinion, are only not into sports because they don't understand.
I think it's also, and like I'm guilty of this too, I've been thinking about this a little bit more actually. Some people, and by some people I mean me, don't react well to hype. That's understandable. Like they see a bunch of people getting excited about stuff. Sports are a masculine dominated thing. And just the mere, I'm not even talking about like it has nothing to do with gender. People. Yeah. What was it? I think it was some show. It was some legendary show. Maybe it was Seinfeld, though I haven't watched Seinfeld yet. But whenever something is universally adored, you know, by most people in the world, I kind of fucking hate it just because it's so well loved. Right. And I shake my head because like I get it and I understand, but like it's a pet peeve. No, honestly, like if people like stuff, I just kind of hate it. Because everybody, like, when you can't turn a corner, if you can't turn a corner without hearing about something, you're just like, oh my God, stop talking about this thing. This is so fucking annoying. Like, shut the fuck up. I'm not going to watch it now. I'm not going to watch it because I'm going to be the one person that you come to and you can't talk about this thing with. So you have to figure something else to talk about. Wow. Because it's your entire personality right now. And I don't like that. And that's what I don't like about it, is it becomes people's entire personalities. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to be the mirror that gets held up against you to say, hey, maybe expand a little bit, you know, expand your horizons. Be able to talk about something else. It's fun to get excited about things. I know. And like, sometimes I get caught up in hype too, right? Like I mean, the whole reason I'm a Raptors fan is because they won the championship last year and that's what finally got me on board. Right. So like, I'm not immune to it all the time, but sometimes. My only thing, and this isn't about you specifically, my only thing about people like that who are like, oh, this is hype, you know, who do that, are like 6 months later, they'll finally cave and watch it when the hype is dead and be like, oh, it was so good. Yeah. Why won't nobody talk to me about it? Because you didn't do it when
Because
everybody
you
was
didn't
talking about
participate
it.
when everyone was doing it.
Yeah.
You know, like, and listen, believe me, I was that way with like Dexter. Remember when Dexter was huge?
Yeah.
And everyone's like, go watch Dexter. I'm like, I don't want to fucking watch that shit. Fuck that. I don't want to fucking watch Dexter. And I've never watched Dexter. But like, you know what? Maybe if I watched it.
I've seen a couple episodes of Dexter and it's really good.
I believe you.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing, right? And I've said this a million times on the podcast. I'll say it a million more times. Popular things, more often than not, are well liked because they are good.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how
why they're popular.
That's how that works.
Yeah. You're like not cool. And I'm talking to myself here. You're like not cool for poo-pooing something and refusing to consume something merely because it's popular.
The people who make
like
their whole
not cool
personality
about that.
popular things, in my opinion, are the same as people who make their whole personality to not watch the thing.
Yeah.
Like they're the same person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Just different activities.
Exactly.
And it's also like let people enjoy things.
Yeah.
Like
it's free to let people enjoy things. No cost to let people enjoy
no,
things.
it's completely free to just like mind your business and let people be happy.
And you know, riding a hype wave can be fun. You know?
Yeah,
honestly.
it's like kind of cool. I mean, like when you are a part of it, it is cool to be able to like turn a corner and be able to talk to anybody about anything, you know? Or like you go to the grocery store and the cashier like makes a reference in like a colloquial way of the thing that everybody's into right now. And you're like, yeah. You know, it's nice. It is nice.
Totally.
But sometimes
It can and has gone too far.
Sometimes it's also about stupid shit, like honest to goodness.
Oh, for sure.
So
sometimes popular things that get popular are terrible.
Yeah.
Like, and I stand by this. Like, I know I literally just said most popular things are good or well liked because they're good.
Yeah.
But the opposite side of that is the fucking hard truth that a lot of popular things are also sometimes terrible.
Yeah.
You know, like
Yeah.
two sides of the same coin.
I spent a lot of my 30 walk, my first watch
My
of
30 walk. Oh, you baby, watch a 30 walk.
I spent the majority of my first like watch of 30 Rock being like, when does it get like really good? Like this is fine, but like when this show ended, it got its own Rolling Stone cover.
Right,
Like,
it was a big deal.
It was a big deal when 30 Rock ended. And I'm waiting for it to like get to that level for me, and it never really did. And I'm like, this doesn't make any sense because, you know, you've got acting heavyweights. You've got Tina Fey, Alec Baldwin, Jane Krakowski, who is like a fucking powerhouse that I don't think anybody's talking about nearly enough. She's
not familiar.
I think she did a lot of Broadway, I think is where a lot of her, like the bulk of her career was.
Cool.
But she's a fantastic comedic actress and amazing singer, great singer. Did blackface on that show once though. So
wow.
like, no thank you, Jane.
Whoops.
Tracy Morgan, who I don't think gets enough credit because he's like viewed as like this insane person, but I think that there's a science to his insanity that I just am really interested in. Jack McBrayer, who played Kevin on the show, who was just like so funny. Like really, 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 and like the guest stars were out of this world. Like I loved the world of the show. It was SNL, but not SNL, and it was like kind of cheeky all the time, which I appreciated. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I didn't get it.
That's understandable.
I really
though.
didn't get it.
Well, see, I think that's an interesting thing to talk about. The idea of like, here's this thing that is so well liked, and you watch it, and you do genuinely give it a watch, and not like you're not, right? Like you really give it the old college try.
Yeah.
They come out on the other end, like I just don't. Like
I watched the whole thing. I mean, let me remember. There's like 6 or 7 seasons of 30 Rock, and I watched them all, and the whole time felt.
I didn't realize you watched all of them. You watch every season?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Well, I mean, I really wanted to be able to say that I consumed it, that I gave it a fair shot. I wanted, you can't. It's always a fear of mine that I'll say like, oh yeah, I couldn't get past the first season of 30 Rock. And then they're going to be like, everybody hates the first season of 30 Rock. Like, why didn't you watch the rest of it? Like, it does this thing and it builds up to this thing and it gets blah, blah, blah. Like I always want to make sure that there's no like twist.
Right.
And all of a sudden the thing is just going to get really, really good. That's why, that's why you think that I have such this like this tolerance for bad media. But I simply think that it's fair to see something through all the way to the end before you say that it's shitty.
See,
with the exception of like reality shows, because it's like, well, life never stops being life. So
yeah, oh yeah. See, my only gripe.
I didn't watch all of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. I'm sorry.
Well, no, yeah.
I watched a lot of it though.
The 24th season, the arc that Kim went on. No, that's not real. No one gives a shit.
No.
My only gripe with that line of thinking is that like a show that's bad for 3 seasons and good for 2 is a bad show. Like, I really don't care. Like, I really don't like... You ever heard of Gintama?
No.
The anime Gintama?
No.
So Gintama, long story short, is a gag anime, which means it's like a comedy.
Right.
And it's really beloved. There's like 600 fucking episodes and has this huge fan base. And it's really known for the storylines that dip in and out of comedy and action and drama. Mm-hmm. So like there's like arcs that are like really serious and the characters like getting fights and it's like bloody and death. But most of the time it's like Gintama being a dumbass. I watched 60 episodes of Gintama and I was like, this isn't funny, cool, or enjoyable. And there's 520 more episodes. Like, I'm not going to watch this. Like, I don't give a shit. If 20% of the show is good, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
The whole show should be good.
Yeah.
You wouldn't read the first 10 chapters of a book being like, oh, but the last 5, bro? Like, so good. Like, in my opinion, I don't know. I think that's bullshit.
But I feel like you can't say that if you haven't finished the thing, you know? Because, like, you don't have the full perspective of the entire world. You don't have, you know, all of the information that could possibly be given to you from the piece, you know?
But what I don't understand is like, but that's under the assumption that the shit you didn't like in season 1 gets recontextualized later on and then becomes good. That doesn't always happen.
No.
There are just like series of shows where it's like, yeah, season 1 sucks, but like just watch season 3. Like that's stupid in my opinion. Like I don't like that.
I think you're being a little bit too hard on media there because, you know, media is made by humans and things change and artists get better. And I just want to give them room to do that.
Sure, I guess.
I just want to do that.
And that's fine.
So it's like, I really want to give you a chance. And if you don't get better, then I can say, hey, I sat through all 7 seasons of your show. I looked it up. 30 Rock has 7 seasons. It's like, hey, I sat through all 7 seasons of your show. And the same things that pissed me off in season 1 were still pissing me off by season 7. Why didn't you change it? You know, right. I think that's just the way that you should go if you're going to criticize something.
I mean, I guess.
So that you can say, no, I watched your whole thing. So, I watched your 3-hour movie. I watched your 12-season show. I watched I read your like 57-part comic book. I did it. I went through it all.
It's very no offense, of course, but that's a little stubborn to me. Like it just seems like
I think it's fair. I think that, and I the other thing about that too is that it gives room for you to like things without liking the whole thing.
Sure.
There are things that especially as an artist, there are things that I've learned from art that is quote unquote bad art, that were good things that I liked, but were overall a bad piece.
Sure.
I do think that
big advocate for that.
I do think that like Brandy Cinderella is it's kind of corny and
well, sure.
It's not, you know, it's not aging well as far as like its fashion and costumes are very like of the time. It was clearly set in the late 90s, early 2000s. It looks like that.
Well, definitely.
But I think it's such an excellent representation of like, you can cast a Filipino prince and have his parents be black and white and they talk about it as if they're his biological son, and it doesn't fucking matter.
It's a good movie.
Nobody cares. That movie, when it came out on ABC back in the day, was like well liked.
Yeah.
And nobody raised a stink about the fact that the prince was Filipino and his mom was Whoopi Goldberg somehow.
Right.
No one like raised a stink about it. So all this talk that we talk about representation right now is like, oh well, it's not realistic. Literally, actually, no one cares as much as you think they will. People won't care as long as you don't make a big deal about it.
What does this have to do with what we were talking about, though?
How something you can watch something and it's like bad, but you can get something good from it. You know, like right. There are good things in the bad. You can be like, yeah, overall that was a bad piece, but I liked this part, you know, and you don't know if you're gonna find that if you don't give it a fair shot, if you turn the movie off like a quarter of the way through, or if you don't give all of the TV show a shot, or if you don't if you don't finish the book or whatever.
For me, it's weighted, right? You have to be like, for me, like there's a balance.
Yeah.
Like I totally agree that you're not gonna like everything about what you like.
Yeah.
That's a fact for my favorite things.
Yeah.
You know, but for me, it's like, okay, but if the bad outweighs the good, then I can confidently say that this is bad. Like, I don't like it.
Yeah.
But if the good outweighs the bad, then it's the opposite, right? You kind of have to take both with one with either.
I guess for me, it's not so much like media isn't like majority rules for me. You know, like if there are like 7 bad things about a show, say, or like a movie, I'll say, because a movie is just one thing. So if there are like 7 bad things about a movie and like 5 good things about it, I'm not going to say that it was a bad movie. Correct me if I'm wrong, but like you would say in that case then that was a bad movie because there were more bad things about it than good things.
Explain that one more time.
So if there were 7 bad things, if you can list off 7 bad things about a movie,
right?
But there are like 5 good things, you would say overall it was a bad movie.
Yeah, I mean, overall, like it would see like what would dictate it would be my intensity in terms of my reaction, right? Like I could say something is bad but not be angry about it, right? Like I can go say like for instance, famously I dislike the new Lion King movie.
Yeah,
there are a lot of things. There are not many good things about that movie, and the things that are bad piss me off. So that also, adds a fervor to it, right? Like I could say a movie is bad, but then be like, it's bad, but that's all right. Like, it's not like an offensively bad movie like The Lion King. Sometimes movies are just not that great. And you watched it, and I don't regret seeing it, but it is just not that great.
Yeah.
Trying to think of well, I can't quite think of an example of what I'm talking about, but most recently, I am one, like, I won't necessarily finish TV shows if I'm not enjoying them, but I never not finish movies, except for one.
Which one was that?
I was watching the newest Dragon Quest movie on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
It was a CG animated Dragon Quest movie. It was one of the first like majorly CG productions out of Japan.
Okay.
Like, and I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like, and it's Dragon Quest. Like, I like Dragon Quest. That movie is fucking terrible.
Okay.
So bad.
Yeah.
Like literally, Sam. So the movie is based on like the 5th Dragon Quest game.
Yeah.
Right. You see the opening with the characters. You get like little snippets here and there, and then the movie with text pops up on screen and is like, our characters did this, and now we're here. And then the scene begins.
Oh, that's not good.
And like I was watching it and I was like,
you literally told instead of showed.
Literally told instead of showed. And I'm watching this movie thinking like, whatever, I'll finish it. It's like an hour and a half, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, I bet it's like halfway over. I clicked it, it'd been 15 minutes. And I was like, I'm not going to finish this movie. I have better things to do.
And I also want to just say that like, I have a respect for time.
Well, exactly. I don't want to waste my time.
Like, I don't know. If it affects you so much, I can see why maybe you wouldn't want to tolerate watching a show that you don't particularly love when you can watch something that you like instead. I'm an artiste, so...
Oh, shut up. You're so fucking snobby.
I just, like...
Swear to God.
I just, like, I don't always watch things... I'm always watching things to learn.
Sure.
I even when I'm watching things for fun, I am clocking, like, how the sausage is made. So... if something's not good, I like to like see it through to the end and be like, okay, so where are they fucking up? Like, what? Because
you're
exactly
a masochist and you want to hurt yourself.
I'm not a masochist. It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt me to watch bad things. I really enjoy seeing where things go wrong, and it's also comforting in a way because bad things get made.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, like.
But bad things are usually not the fault of one person in a production.
Like the check gets cut anyways. You know, it kind of inspires me to make art because it's like, I don't know what I'm doing with my writing. I don't know. There's no clear path like there is for like becoming a doctor or something where it's like you do this, so then you can do this, which leads you to this, and then you do this, and then doctor.
Right.
It's very nebulous. Like nobody gets into this industry the same way, and nobody creates a project the same way, and there's no blueprint, and it's very confusing, and it's very scary because you're like afraid that you're gonna like do it wrong and you're gonna be one of these bad things, but like bad things get made,
and being bad is also
and
not
then you still
necessarily
make money off of it
bad
anyway.
thing.
So I'm like, well, even if I spent an entire career making stuff that nobody likes, as long as I keep getting paid for it, and I can like move out of my mom's house at some point and have some of the other things, as long as I'm having a good time making them, like, you know,
that's
like
all that really matters.
As long as I'm having a good time and I can take care of myself, and any goals or wants or needs that come up in the future, I'm fine with that. And watching bad things get made reminds me that that's okay.
That's sure,
and
I guess.
That you also survive, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Adam Sandler made a couple of bad movies,
and now he's a billionaire.
He's still very much okay.
Yeah.
Very, very okay. Eddie Murphy made a bunch of bad movies, but he's very okay.
Mm-hmm.
All 10 of his children are taken care of.
Will Smith makes exclusively bad movies.
No, he doesn't! You said that to piss me off, and I don't like it.
Will Smith does not make exclusively bad movies.
I can't believe you said that. Like, you didn't enjoy I Am Legend. Like, you didn't enjoy I, Robot. Like, you didn't enjoy goddamn. We both talked about how Hancock isn't as bad as people make it out to be.
The third act of Hancock is rough, but the movie as a whole is fine.
Whatever, it's fine.
Yeah.
You know, like, Hitch is great. So, like. I'm not gonna go on a Will Smith rant. I
was joking.
He confirmed a Fresh Prince special on HBO
right.
Max,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
With like the cast, everybody was together. There's even a picture of him with Janet Huber Witten, which is so cool. I hope they've ironed things out.
Super, super cool.
Yeah.
But to finish your note,
I think Daphne Maxwell Reid is gonna come back as Aunt Viv though, and that's gonna suck.
Is that the second Aunt Viv?
That's the light skinned Aunt Viv that nobody likes.
Okay. Yeah. But I wanted to
including me, black people. I'm pro Janet Witten. Just FYI.
Cool. Sam is pro Janet Witten. Okay. Put it in the wiki.
Thank you.
I wanted to tack on to something you were saying at the end in terms of like you watch bad things to remind yourself that being bad is okay sometimes. It's like, I guess for me, when it comes to art and especially the things I'm influenced by, like I'd rather consume the things that I'm influenced by because that's what I want to write.
Well, yeah.
You know?
I do that too. I also do that.
Of course you do.
Yeah.
I just don't do the other thing because it's like I don't want to watch something that's bad to be like, ooh, I'm not going to make that mistake. I'd rather just make the mistake and then learn from it, you know? Because like,
you got to prepare. You got to know exactly how many mistakes you can make going into a situation.
Because that's how things work.
So you can avoid every single mistake and come out perfect on the other side. I'm
having a panic attack. You saying that. I'm having a panic attack. But I don't know, man. Like, I get it. I hear what you're saying loud and clear. It's just not, I don't have the time. I don't you know how fucking pissed off I would be? Yeah. To watch 9 seasons of something I hate, and then like rant about how much I hate it, and then have everyone in my life be like, "Then why did you just stop watching it?"
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
But I get what you're. I see what you're coming from.
Yeah. Also, like certain things, and this isn't even the artist side of me. This is just like the like micro history buff that lives in my body. It's some things exist in a time. And they're bad because of the time that they're set in the stuff that you could get away with at the time. Like, I watched all of Sex and the City being like, I can't fucking believe this is considered one of the best shows of all time. And they got away with so much bad choices. Like, I can't believe that show is as loved as it is. And the movies
I've never seen a single episode.
The movie's not so much, but I can't fucking believe that even the first Sex and the City movie got made. I can't believe...
There's 2 of them. There's fucking 2 of them.
There's 2 of them. I can't believe that. And they really almost made a third. It was like almost exclusively Kim Cattrall's fault that they didn't like go ahead and make a third because she was like, actually, I hate you bitches, and like got out.
Is that really what she said?
She literally said, like, Sarah Jessica Parker and I have never been friends. And I don't know why she thinks that. And like, well, not verbatim, but she was basically like, we were not like, the whole world thought that we were like this fantastic foursome the entire time, and we fucking weren't. You're not my real friends. I don't like you. Stop asking me to do Samantha again. I don't want to do Samantha, and I don't like those bitches. And just like,
Jesus Christ.
It makes bad jazz music with her partner now.
Well, I mean, she's living off fucking Sex and the City money, so who cares? She knows what the fuck she wants. That is the dream, man. If I could do one big project and then ride that and just have it fund my life, that'd be great.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of like, that's what I love about Curb Your Enthusiasm is that every once in a while I'll be like, how does Larry David, like a lot of the predicaments that Larry David gets into on Curb Your Enthusiasm, like cost him money. Yeah. And then I'm like, why don't you change so that these things stop costing you money? And then I remember that like in both Curb World and Real World, he has Seinfeld money.
Well, exactly.
Like for the rest of his life, like it's set up.
So I just decided to Google it. Larry David's net worth is estimated to be somewhere between $400 and $900 million.
Because of the syndication of Seinfeld.
Like Seinfeld and Friends and like these like TV shows like that people like put it this way, those at home. You don't necessarily have to be a fan of these shows. Yeah. But the fact that you know what Seinfeld is when I say it should say something to how fucking popular Seinfeld is. Yeah. Like that is nuts. That is so much money.
It's this never ending well of money. Like people say that never happens, and yet
it happened
for Larry David, Jennifer Aniston, Matthew Perry, David Schwimmer, Lisa Kudrow, Courtney Cox, and
Matt
LeBlanc, it's true. They can afford, like Matt LeBlanc's like his like other show Episode or whatever the fuck, like it sucked, and I'm sure creatively it sucked for him, you know, like he's a good person, he cares about the art, he cares about doing a good job, making a good show, he wants something to do. Like it sucks that Episode didn't work out, but at least it didn't cost you any money.
It's true. Matt LeBlanc.
At least you're not going to lose your house because episode didn't work out.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Like,
who's considered the least successful friend?
I mean, I haven't seen Matthew Perry in anything lately.
Matthew Perry net worth. Let's find out what his net worth is. Matthew Perry, the worst friend,
in our uninformed opinion,
has a net worth of $80 million. Like,
fuck out of here.
He don't even need to be good.
Yeah. Like, I'll just go fuck myself immediately.
Forget like Jennifer Aniston or David Schwimmer, or even like, I know you just said that, but even Matt LeBlanc, who wanted to have like genuinely successful careers.
Yeah.
Like Matt LeBlanc and David Schwimmer both won Emmys and shit.
Yeah.
You know, like they went on to like do stuff.
Yeah.
And Jennifer Aniston is Jennifer fucking Aniston. She doesn't even need to be in anything.
Yeah.
She's just ubiquitous.
I still think that we like saw Jennifer Aniston be amazing in Cake and then like continue to underestimate her for no good reason.
You know, I never saw Cake.
She is a fantastic actress. Like,
I believe
fantastic.
I believe it.
So good. I really want to see her more. Because I think that she's so good. In serious, like, dramatic roles, too. Yeah. Like, her character was suffering chronic pain. Like, true chronic pain. Like, she was in a car accident and her character was, like, in pain the whole time. And there were times, like, she would, like, get out of a chair and, like, grunt and, like, be stiff. And I felt it. It was, like, so visceral. I was like, this is amazing. I did not expect to, you know, I really love like good physicality in movies because I'm bad at it.
Oh, come on.
Well, I poo-pooed it all throughout university because I thought that it was annoying. And then
it was presented to you in an annoying way.
It's like, it's one of the things, like getting into the physical character's body for me when I'm acting is like the hardest part for me. Like understanding where they're coming from and like imagining the world they're living in and stuff like that. It comes together eventually, but like inhabiting their body and not just like walking around like Sam the whole time is like something that I find really hard to do.
Totally.
But like she did it really well, and it's something that I really respect, partly because I'm envious, but in a healthy way. And just I know how hard it is. So when someone does it well, I'm like, you fucking did that. You really did that. That's amazing. Everybody should go watch Cake. So I mean, like I think I got a bunch of award season buzz, but
unfortunately I think it won anything. But it did get hyped.
I think it kind of got treated like Adam Sandler and Uncut Gems last year, where everyone was like, we're going to see Adam Sandler get a fucking Oscar this year. Right. And when Cake came out, we were like, is Jennifer Aniston going to get an Oscar? And then just didn't. And we were like, in what world?
It's a shame. I mean, I'll be honest with you, when I found out that like, well, because it's funny, right? Jennifer Aniston, like we were just talking about, is someone who's like rather prolific. Like she's popular. Everyone knows Jennifer Aniston. She's iconic.
Yeah, there's a whole hairstyle about her.
Exactly. There's a whole hairstyle about her. Our people, like our parents, our moms especially, are like, Jennifer Aniston is to moms is what George Clooney is also to moms. You know what I mean? Like moms love two actors, and it's George Clooney and Jennifer Aniston and none other. But Jennifer Aniston, like, honest to God, who's someone who is, like, so prolific, isn't actually in that much stuff.
Because she doesn't have to be.
Well, she doesn't have to be.
Because she can pick and choose, because she got Friends money forever.
But and I think that's so cool. Like, what an interesting career. Like, the idea, because, like, I mean, like...
You could fuck around and just go with it, or if you want to, like, show off your fucking chops, you can get Cake.
Yeah, make a movie like Cake, yeah.
Actually, I've heard just go with it is, like, quite good for what it's worth.
Never saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's the dream, man.
The dream of the dream.
That's the fantasy, I should say.
So
the
you
dream
at home
is merely just sustain myself with art.
Well, yeah.
The fantasy is make a piece that is so good that it funds itself for the rest of my life.
Exactly.
And I can continue to pick and choose good and bad projects as I please. And if it flops, then it flops. And if it's good, then it's great. Yeah. I have good project money and, you know, Friends money.
Dude,
for the rest of my life.
Why do you think I'm so interested in creating, like, concept heavy animation shows? Because I would love if some big studio wanted to buy it from me. Yeah, have fun.
Well, that's the thing, right? Like Larry David and Jerry Seinfeld, and I think Jennifer Aniston did this with their shows. They didn't just like they didn't sell it all. They own they own part of their shows.
Larry David is still a creative consultant. Yeah.
That's why it's such a not even just a consultant. Like he literally like owns part of Seinfeld.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, he didn't
take a money. He took a share
for a lump sum.
Yeah.
He gets a percentage. I think it's something like 3%
Of all profits,
of like royalties whenever an episode of Seinfeld airs, and there's always an episode of Seinfeld on. Yeah. So he consistently gets money.
Well, it's funny because I think Jerry Seinfeld and Larry David did that, and I'm pretty sure the Friends cast did that. But I don't think all of the Seinfeld cast did that. I think it was just Larry and, Jerry. Larry and Jerry.
Larry and Jerry. I didn't think about that.
But at the time, see, it's also you have to understand this. They also took a far greater risk.
Yeah.
Because if Seinfeld tanked, they'd be left penniless.
Yeah.
They would be like, it wouldn't be like Julia Louis-Dreyfus who like got a bunch of money and now has that money.
I don't know if Julia Louis-Dreyfus did the same thing.
I mean, she's also rich as hell.
Just for the sake of this conversation, we'll just say that she didn't.
Yeah, I mean, she went on to do Veep anyway, so like whatever. And I've heard Veep is great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But maybe that'll be the next show that I tackle because I really like Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Mm-hmm.
But
Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
But yeah, that's the scary thing, right? Is if it doesn't pay, if your show doesn't get syndicated into oblivion, and there's always an episode of it on no matter what, then you just have like the royalties to this flop. And I think when they did that, they were one of the first people to like do that, and everyone was like, "You're crazy! Take the lump sum." Like everybody up until this point has been taking the lump sum, and they didn't.
I mean, they probably had a lot less money early on than all of their constituents, for sure.
Yeah.
But look who's laughing now.
I ate at that diner where they conceptualized Seinfeld. It wasn't that good.
Oh, really? It was kind of poopy?
It was a diner.
Oh, it's just a diner?
It's a diner.
You got eggs and some hash browns.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. The scrambled eggs were a little, like, hard.
Yeah,
they had a little bit of a... You know how sometimes bad scrambled eggs have, like...
Crunchy bits?
Like a... Not even a crunchy shell, just like a hard outer part to them. They're
like
not,
a skin.
They're not fluffy. Yeah, they have a skin.
Mm-hmm.
My eggs had skins.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Yeah. I was like, I just want to go back and watch the second part of Cursed Child now. Just fast forward to this part.
Well, you know what? At the Chill Spot podcast, your eggs will always be fluffy and delicious.
That is the Chill Spot guarantee. And you know what? I'm actually so good at making breakfast. I feel confident in that promise.
You are good. You are the breakfast lady. You do breakfast and desserts, and I do lunch and dinners.
Yeah. So Larry David, now that you're rich, come over to my house for some eggs.
Come on the podcast.
How about that? How about that?
But all right, guys, listen. It's about that time of the day.
Okay.
Sun's getting real low, buddy.
Hey, big guy.
Hey.
I just want to say I would love to have one conversation with Larry David where I just like ask him a bunch of like social hypothetical situations and like see what he says. That's all you do when you interview Larry David. That's what everybody does. But I would love to be like, so I did this the other day. Like, should I have spoken up or was I?
Oh, I see what you mean. Okay, I
would love to just do a podcast where we're like, so it's a packed bus and some asshole has his backpack on a seat. Should I like say something or should I just leave it alone? I could just do a whole show of that.
Sure.
Yeah.
You probably have lots of opinions on that.
Oh, totally. It would be hilarious.
That's what Curb Your Enthusiasm is.
Yeah.
It's just Larry David being a jerk to everyone he meets.
Yeah.
It's a good show, though.
But yeah, that was my last thing that I wanted to say.
Awesome.
So thank you so much for listening, everybody. We hope you all have good days. Don't worry. We'll get back on roller coasters at some point.
Exactly. Guys, we'll get through the end of this, but until now, we'll be here, right?
Yeah.
And we'll be back next week, Tuesday at 3 p.m. on YouTube, as well as around noon to 1 on Spotify, Apple Music, Google Podcasts now, not Google Plus. We're also on Podbean. So you can watch us on any of your favorite platform where you get podcasts. Be sure to like us on any platform you can like us on. Yes. And also share us with your friends. That'd be really cool if you did that.
Please.
And we will see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.